Hold just a second, Cody. You got it now. It's on you, Cody.
All right, thank you everybody for coming back. I just wanted to be noted that we're coming out of executive session and no votes were taken. And I believe we have a motion on the floor.
Yes, sir, Chairman. I make a motion that we settle for $10,000 on the litigation that was discussed in executive session.
Second.
Jones on the motion and Leggett on the second. Let's take a vote.
Yes, sir.
So we're gonna take a vote for the litigation, to settle the litigation at $10,000.
Yes, sir.
Motion to move on that.
I already made the motion.
All right.
And I think did somebody second it? Leggett seconded.
Yes, Leggett second.
Thank you. Chairman Cody,
Yes.
Director Jones,
Yes.
Director O'Halloran,
Yes.
Director Emister,
No.
Director Leggett,
Yes.
Director Lakakis, Director Robinson,
Yes.
Director Stone,
Yes.
Director Odell.
Yes.
Thank you, Chairman.
All right, motion carries. All right.
And Cody, may I speak?
Yes, Director Jones.
All right. Ty, Attorney Butler.
Yes.
Attorney Butler.
Yes, I'm here.
Did that motion and vote cover everything?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. I apologize, Cody. I just want to make sure it was straight for the record.
All right. So we're gonna return to the executive director's report.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. We have any more updates?
If you give me just a second to share my screen. Okay, you all see just the single screen up?
Yes.
Oh, ma'am. It's in presentation mode. Not
Okay.
yet.
Give me just a second, I'm sorry. All right. All right, good morning again, everyone. This is the Executive Director's Report, which is for information only. CAT continues to score. And just as we talk about score, it's football season, even though my team did not score as much as I liked last night. CAT as an organization continues to score. And by score, we mean stabilize and strengthen the agency's finances, care for the employees, customers, and community, optimize operations to be more efficient and serve the community more equitably, reimagine transit in Chatham County.
You see that Joker voted no.
Jay,
Jay,
hey,
Jay, you might need to mute.
engage our board, employees, and stakeholders. Of course, all for the good of Chatham County. Of course, under the S, we have worked to stabilize and strengthen the agency's finances. And of course, earlier this month, all of you, the board members and those who attended the committee meetings, heard from Keisha Dukes with JTI, an arm of the Jacksonville Transit Authority. We are moving forward with the following recommendations. We are moving forward with appointing a chief financial officer. The finance department is being restructured to address the proper segregation of duties. We are investigating the efficiency of our payroll processes and will report back to the board if changes are warranted. We are investigating the efficiency and reporting capability of our current financial management software. And we're seeking the cost of the recommended fraud review versus the cost of a forensic audit. We are pursuing this not because of any specific allegations, but to the contrary, we would like to address any concerns related to malfeasance by getting a determination one way or the other, and then moving forward from there. I am also pleased to report that the COVID-19 staff layoffs as an item are going away. A special thanks to our management team and operations led by interim COO Enoch Dumas, as well as to our union leadership that have worked very hard together to come up with a plan that we believe will eliminate the need for any layoffs. Again, it all goes to the structure of the organization and allowing our operators to all work together as one unit working to move CAT forward. We can avoid this unfortunate situation. I'm continuing with the recruitment of my executive leadership team and plan to have everyone in place by the end of November. And then of course, we are going forward with the amended budget. This was something that I believe the board expected from me because I started on June 29th and technically June 30th was the end of the budget year. So I really inherited a budget that I really didn't get to weigh in on very heavily. And so we have a timeline. We're going to do this a little bit differently. I've said throughout my tenure thus far, which has been almost 90 days, that these are times of business unusual. And so by October 9th, 2020, we're going to develop an operating strategic focus and assumptions. October 14th, we're going to have an operating budget session, and these are approximate dates. By October 21st, 2020, we're going to submit a preliminary amended budget. October 26th, we're looking to have department presentations. We're looking to have public hearings around the time of November 2nd. We're going to submit final operating and capital budgets, hopefully by November 11th, all in time for a presentation to the board by November 17th. Within this wheel of information, we plan to have budget work sessions with all of you, the board members, to hear your concerns, to ensure that this budget reflects the strategic direction that you want this organization to move in. Under C, we're continuing to work through our COVID-19 security measures, and we're working diligently to make those measures even tighter. We've been fortunate. We haven't had any major outbreaks within our ranks. And that's all because of the diligent work of the CAT team in making sure that we're following the COVID-19 security protocols. I'm instituting something new called Open Door Days. On the last Thursday, and for the month of September, I believe it'll be the last Wednesday of the month, from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m., I'll be entertaining employees on a first come, first served basis to have 10 minutes with the CEO. This is just to promote open dialogue and communication. So many of the employees have been so supportive and have tried to have meetings with me since my arrival. It's really just not possible within a scheduled day. So I want to do these on a monthly basis so that we can have an opportunity to get to know the CAT employees, and I want the CAT family to get to know me. Mayor Van Johnson of the City of Savannah has appointed me to the Savannahability Task Force. This task force was formed with the charge of looking into how we can better serve and represent the persons with disabilities within the City of Savannah. We've only been to one meeting, and it was really more of a get acquainted meeting, so I'm really excited about pushing up my sleeves and getting to work in October at our next meeting. As you know, we have a diversity and inclusion assessment that is underway. We are expecting to have a report from Aspire Workplace Solutions by the October board meeting and a written copy for you to digest as well. The team from Aspire came on site this month. They conducted in-person interviews as well as they have sent out a survey to all of the employees. And we've really tried to encourage the employees during our town hall meetings to be responsive and to participate in the process. After all, this is their organization too, and what everyone thinks is very important. Now, I'd like to present the agency plan for restructure, phase 1. As I alluded to upon my arrival, I wanted to take these first 90 days to look at our staffing flow, our process flow, and determine the best way for CAT to move forward. I met with each of you and heard about how you were ready for a change. One of the issues that I found, and it was actually called out by the JTI consultant, was the segregation of duties and the flow of responsibilities. So in phase 1, I wanted to show the executive leadership structure and what functions fall under each chief. Each chief will be responsible for leading a division, with the exception of chief of staff. Chief of staff has the most important duty and the most important assignment being the liaison to the board of directors. The other chiefs will actually manage divisions within the organization and spread out the segregation of duties in a way that is mirrored by the best practices in other agencies of similar size across the country. And so a copy of this, of course, was in the packet that you were provided. And of course, I'm always available to answer any questions that you may have. But remember, this is just phase 1. There are other positions that fall below that. And so we'll be providing more information to you as we move along in the budget amendment process. This was a very important part of the process, as personnel and staff makes up almost 50% of the operating budget. And then, of course, here we grow again. I'd like to congratulate Ms. Beverly Dumas, who has been promoted to Chief of Staff. She has been a longtime supporter of this organization in working and serving with the board as well as the staff. And so we're excited to have her in this elevated role. Also, a congratulations goes to Ms. Hilda Mercedes, who has been promoted to Compliance Manager, and Mr. Victor Kalan, who has been officially promoted to Procurement Manager. If you recall, he was the interim Procurement Manager when David Stearns was promoted into the Chief Administrative Officer position. But also, as a part of growth, you will have people that decide to go down a different path. And of course, we're always sad to see them go. And we recently received the resignation of Ms. Ashley Goodrich, who will be leaving us at the end of the month. And we're really sad to see her go. And we really do appreciate all the contributions that she has made to CAT since her arrival. Under O, of course, we're talking about optimizing the operations. Now, you hear more about this under the service delivery report, but we are very excited about the option that we have in front of us. Again, we really moved more from the dialogue of reducing service to using COVID as an opportunity or an excuse to optimize our operations. So while we will be going to a holiday schedule on some routes, we'll be adding service on others. We'll be adding routes that aren't normally covered during the holiday service, and we'll be adding even more service to some of the routes, such as the 17 Silk Hope, as well as the 14 Abercorn. It's certain routes like that we can't seem to get enough service on. And so we'll be adding more service to those routes to make sure that we're continuing to serve the customers in the way that they deserve to be served. And then, of course, the R, reimagining transit in Chatham County. We have continued to reach out to stakeholders all in and throughout the region and really the state, in trying to understand what the collective vision is for transit here in Chatham County. We have met with the leaders at the airport, and we informed them of the board's action to temporarily suspend the 100X airport shuttle. And of course, they understand. These are, this is business unusual. And so they understand that decisions like this go with the territory. But they have pledged to join with us as we reimagine what this shuttle service could look like. Of course, we've also met with various leaders in Chatham County, as well as those who are seeking leadership roles in Chatham County. We do have a meeting on Wednesday at 1:30 with Jason Buterman, who is one of the candidates for county chair. And that meeting will take place, and you all are actually welcome to join me for that meeting as well, to the members of the board. If you would like to be at that meeting, please let Beverly know so that we will make the appropriate adjustments if we happen to have more than 5 people that show interest. But we have to let the elected officials know that transit does matter. Mobility does matter throughout the county. And we have hit the ground running, trying to convey that very message. We have also met with the leadership in Garden City, the home of our current chairman. And so they are very excited about what we're doing at CAT. We had a wonderful meeting with the mayor there, and we have an opportunity to make presentations before the Garden City City Council in October. We're continuing to be an engaged part of the SAMI board as well. And we're actually all pledging to come together for a strategic planning session specifically centered around the ferry. We have an opportunity to really expand our service and turn that ferry service into something amazing and something that will be modeled throughout the country. And so we're looking forward to the opportunity to participate in strategic planning for our ferry as well. And then lastly, of course, engaging our board, our employees, and our stakeholders. Board engagement is something that's very important. It's something that I want to do more of. I haven't done as much as I would like to, but I'm planning to continue to try to do more and more and more as the months pass. We do have a survey that'll be going out to each of you, and that survey will just have 2 simple questions. What was your priority for the CEO before I was hired? And what is your priority for the CEO now? And that'll provide a context to help us better understand what your expectations are as we work to build out my KPI and my evaluation and goals and objectives. Your input is very important, and I want to do my best to live up to the expectations that you have. Also in your packet, of course, was a legislative update. Of note, I had the opportunity to meet with and talk to former Department of Transportation Secretary Rodney Slater. He met with me to talk about what our goals are for CAT and what we are hoping to accomplish through a partnership with the federal government in order to make our system better. So I was very excited to take that time to talk to him. We were very honored that he made that time to spend with us. And then, of course, we've been very active in the industry as well. Recently, I was on a press conference with the American Public Transportation Association, talking about the rollout of the program that basically is almost like the good housekeeping seal of approval, if you will, for transit agencies. And I'm proud to announce that we have also signed up for this as well. And then as recently as last Friday, I gave the commentary in the American Public Transportation Association trade guide called Passenger Transport. I've often talked about how public transportation is the great equalizer, and we are honored that APTA recognized what we're doing here in Chatham County and decided to shine a light on it. We're very fortunate to be a part of such a great association. Coming up on Wednesday, September 30th, I'll also be a part of a session on how to future-proof your transit system. And this session is, of course, delivered by the Southwestern Transit Association. So agencies across the country and entities across the country are already beginning to recognize the strides that we're making in terms of the changes that we made in a very short time with regard to our agency. You should be applauded for supporting those measures and for leading the charge and putting the fire in me to get these things done and get them done fast. And then also on September 30th, I'll be participating in the Conference of Minority Transportation Officials CEO panel. And on that panel, I'll get to join other CEOs across the industry to talk about the impact of COVID-19 and what we are doing to make a difference in the lives of our customers as well as our employees. And so again, I end this report with a simple thanks for giving me the opportunity to serve the city of Chatham County. Thanks for the opportunity to lead such a phenomenal group of employees. And thank you for the opportunity to work with each one of you all as a CEO. I really have enjoyed my ride thus far, and the future is bright for Chatham County because CAT is a part of it. And as I always say, it's a great day to catch a cat, and I'll answer any questions that you may have for me at this time.
Thank you for that update, Ms. Malden. Do we have any questions?
I do.
All right, Director Stone.
Just real quickly, these changes in promotions and that kind of thing, what was the overall cost for all of that?
I don't have the figure in front of me right now. We are currently in the budget amendment process right now, and we are calculating all of that right now as we speak. Next month, I'm actually scheduled to share the full restructure as well as the cost.
Okay, but are we voting on any of this today, or is this just for information?
This is for information only.
Okay, because I would like to know what the financial impact of this restructuring is going to be.
That will be a part of phase 2 that will be rolled out to the board on next month.
Okay. But, all right, never mind. Okay.
I think
Thank
Mike had his hand, Cody.
Director Halloran.
Yeah, couple of really quick questions. Was there any distinction for the colors on the organizational chart? I noticed there were 3 or 4 different ones.
Yes. So the green, those are the executive level positions that have been, I'll just say, confirmed on the org chart.
Okay.
Blue denotes departments that currently existed in the org chart. And if the department or function is denoted in gray, there's something new about how it's being represented. Either it's been a split of duties, or maybe it didn't exist. It just means it's something that didn't exist in its current state in the former org chart.
Okay. Are we still holding those ADA focus groups that Bridget Monahan was working on?
Well, we have actually assigned, well, Valerie Ragland is actually picking up the pace on that. I know that Patricia Harris-Moorhead may cover that in her report.
Oh, okay.
And so, but we are picking up the pace. We're picking up the pace not only on the ADA Advisory Committee, but on the Community Advisory Committee as well. And so it's very important to get the community engaged in what's going on at CAT. And so we're looking forward to you, Dr. O'Halloran, being a big part of that ADA Advisory Committee.
Yeah, I've been on it for a while, and Bridget did a great job. I'm assuming Valerie will be just as good.
Oh, we're not sending Bridget away now. She's still she's still going to very much be a part of it. We're just retooling and re-energizing. And so we're moving in a different direction with a fire up under our feet. So we're just retooling, that's all.
And when are we going to have the dates for those budget workshops? So that we can start planning for it, because we're almost in October.
Right. Beverly is actually going to be reaching out to you all with those dates. We like to use Doodle to kind of get a consensus from the board in terms of what dates work best. But we wanted to get through this initial presentation, just kind of let you all know that changes are happening and get your appetite wet for more. And so Beverly will be reaching out to you all soon and very soon with a doodle of potential dates.
Okay, and the one last question, did we get any idea when the extension on the FAST Act is going to be approved by Congress?
We think within the next 30 days.
Okay, but that's only a temporary fix. That's not a permanent approval on the new FAST Act.
Well, we think the approval will come in the next 30 days, but the extension is expected to be through September of 2021.
Oh, okay, good. I'd like to see it 5 years, but
Yeah,
I
I think,
take what
well,
we get.
well, this is true, and I'm happy about the potential extension for 1 year. There's some things that we as an industry have asked for to be changed, and so giving us a year to kind of work through the minutia of getting those changes made within the fact stack, I think is a good start. I think we're off to a strong start.
Okay, and actually I keep coming up with little ones. Any idea when the city of Savannah is going to return their service?
We have been working diligently on that. I know that they were initially waiting until the city, I think, got to a phase 3. There has been a tremendous outcry. I've been bugging Alderman Leggett every other day about it. And so he's
Sure, he
probably
appreciates that.
he's probably tired of me bugging him about it. But I have talked with Alderman Leggett as well as other city personnel about it. And I think we're very close. We may even be able to roll the dock back out at the same time that we make the other service changes. We're crossing our fingers.
If I may, I think that we're very, very close. I'm just waiting for some confirmation from the city manager. And even though we're going through a city manager search, I think that's top priority for CAT at this moment.
Okay, and is there been any discussion on returning to fairs?
Yes, so that will also be a part of October's report. We are hopeful that we will have our plastic barriers in place within the month of October and get those installed. They should all be installed. I think the date that I've been hearing is October 26th is when we think that the barriers will be installed. And then at our October meeting, knowing, getting a better sense of where we are with the installation, we expect to be making a recommendation to restore the fairs, effective in November.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
All right.
I'm done.
No more questions.
All right, then we will move on into our service delivery update by Mr. Dumas.
Good morning. It's still morning, yes. Good morning, Ms. Malden, and to Chairman Cody and the Board of Directors. As soon as we're able to switch presentation, I have some slide to show and share with you all as well.
All right, Mr. Dumas, not to interrupt, Mr. Cody, I have to log. I have another Zoom I have to do at 11:45, so I'm getting ready to log off, my friend.
All right, you have a good one.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, good morning. Are you able to see my screen at this time?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I forgot to share my face, so you don't get to see my mug. I apologize. But nevertheless, as was said, we are preparing to do our proposed fall service, which will be optimizing our service to meet the demand that we're doing now. We have less ridership than what we normally have this time of year. However, we're needing to provide more service to meet the demand for social distancing. So with that being said, our service optimization, we reduce service to optimize holiday schedules. This schedule will include 11 Candler and 20 Skidaway Island Coffee Bluff, which do not typically run on holidays. To help with social distancing during peak hours, additional buses will be added to the following routes: 10 East Savannah, 14 Abercorn, and 17 Silk Hope. CAT will continue to monitor all routes, and additional buses may be added when needed. Our service will continue to end at 10 o'clock p.m. Our daily cost in our service hours weekday is $43,018.47, and Saturdays 36,189.45. Our monthly revenue hours will be 10,095.23, and our monthly cost is $1,084,335.2. Again, our service span will continue to be between 5 a.m. and 10 o'clock p.m., Monday through Saturdays. Reduction of our peak vehicles, 36 to 34. Time span of service again, 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. And our core revenue hours will be reduced by 15.3%. The cost per 31 days will be reduced by $196,133 monthly. And Sunday service will temporarily be suspended for cleaning as well as the 100X. Our proposed service frequency, Monday through Friday, is listed here. I won't call them all out, but we are adding more frequency on our peak services, and the majority of our services will have more frequency. Keep in mind, this is not our typical holiday service, but it's a holiday plus. We will continue to run our holiday service on designated holidays. Saturday services will be not as, the time span will be a little different on Saturdays than it is Monday through Friday because the workforce changes on Saturday. On Sunday, we will not provide any service. Again, this will be where we will do deep cleaning on all of our equipment. And the 7-dot, which is by the city approval, and the senior circulator by city approval, we hope to get those in place. If they are in place by November, we will add those service. If not, we will add them as soon as we're able to, we have the approval by the city. This is the end of my slide, but I want to say that also we will present additional service on some of our routes because again, it's not the typical holiday, so that many of our routes will have additional buses that will already be assigned so that we can help with social distancing, as well as we said that if we have a need to add more service because of ridership, we will do that as a need-to basis. I would entertain any questions that you may have at this time.
Mr. Dumas, I just want to add that we are going to continue paratransit service on Sunday as we are contracted to do with the county.
That's correct. Thank you. Okay, that ends my.
I'll jump in. I think it's very cool to see the 15-minute frequency during peak hours. When are peak hours?
Peak hours are typically in the AM, they're generally between 6 a.m. till 9, 10 at the latest. And then it begins again in the PM, generally at 2 o'clock p.m. till 6 p.m.
That's awesome. So we're gonna have our first 15-minute frequency on an eCore route. I'm excited to see how that works out. I'll be paying attention to that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dumas.
All right, and then we'll go with our system development update by Patricia Harris Moorhead.
One quick question.
Oh.
Has Savannah State actually reinstalled their shuttle, or I know they're on some in-house and classes and things?
We are continuing to dialogue heavily with Savannah State. We have not secured their service as of yet because of the reduced number of students on campus. They're utilizing their internal shuttles, but they recognize that that's not going to be sustainable long-term. So
Right.
we do hope that we can be back on campus providing that service, and we are continuing to keep the lines of communication open.
Yeah, I know they fund that through a student fee, and if they're not on campus and using it, they can't charge them a fee for a service they're not getting. So hopefully by February, we have them back in full swing.
Hopefully so. And I mean, it hit them kind of hard because I think they ended up refunding some of the fees from last semester because the semester was cut short, but we continued to run a little while longer. So I was kind of between a rock and a hard place with that. And I think that's what led to the cutback that we're experiencing right now. But we certainly are very optimistic about the opportunity to go back and welcome the opportunity to have additional discussions about that.
And it did add a driver to our other overly used routes. So hopefully we get them back when they're ready to come back in probably February. All right, thanks.
Okay, well, good afternoon, everyone. Mr. Chairman, board members, and coworkers. Thank you for allowing us to present a brief update to you from our system development team. First slide, please, Beverly. We do have another wonderful system development report in your board packet. However, I'd like to spend a little time to touch on some very recent major accomplishments for the team. If you would indulge me just a little bit. Yesterday, we launched a new service that allows customers to receive cat-related news text directly to their cell phones. And this new system basically allows us to send major service alerts to customers, such as that impact services such as schedule adjustments, bus stop changes, upcoming public meetings. So we're very, very excited about that. And we did share that press release with all of you as well. In addition, another major accomplishment, as Ms. Malden mentioned already, our team, we assisted and supported her with that press conference that she conducted along with other CEOs around the country on September 9 for APTA. That was to do with the National Transit Safety Initiative, which we are a part of. And she did a fantastic job. We were so, so proud of her. So kudos to Ms. Malden for putting us on the map there. In addition, we assisted her with the guest column that was in passenger transport. And so I hope that you all will take time to read it because as we were told by several colleagues at APTA, it was very well written. Ms. Malden put her little personal spin on it. And so we really, really, truly appreciated the job that she did on that as well. In addition, we are continuing to hold the town hall conferences every Wednesday for all employees. This is an opportunity for any employee in the organization to call in and talk to the leadership team. So we are continuing to hold those meetings. We are continuing to do the community meetings, the public community meetings each month. The last one was held on September 9. And then on August 17th, we coordinated a ribbon cutting ceremony for our virtual call center. And that turned out very, very well. And we do appreciate that the chairman was participated in this event, as well as several other board members. So we do thank you all for supporting our organization. Very, very much so. Next slide, please. In addition, we are continuing to do our part to tell the cat story much better in the community than it has been told in the past. And so the team is diligently working to emphasize and promote the positive news that occurs at CAT. And so the months of August and July were extremely busy for us. We sent out a total of 17 news releases and media advisories promoting our agency. We went back to last year and checked out the months of July and August to kind of do a little comparison. And last year in 2019, we sent out a total of 10. So we had lots of great news to share this year, and we are continuing to churn out the positive news about our agency. And I want to give a kudos to our communications manager, Eric Curl, for his help with this major goal of ours. In addition, one of the other major goals that we set for ourselves when I came on board was to produce materials that were more customer friendly, so that our customers could understand our schedules better. They could understand our public transit system better. And so one of the initiatives that we are working on right now is we are trying to have new public timetables for our customers when the upcoming changes go into effect in November. So it's an all hands on deck, but we are doing our best to produce those printed schedules for customers prior to the changes going into effect in November. You may recall that we updated our system map last year. And so the second part of that project was we need to update our printed materials to make them more customer friendly. There are other items on this slide. that are also in your board packet. And so you can find more detailed information about these projects, these updates within that board packet. But I just wanted to highlight for you all some of the wonderful work that's taking place with our system development team. And that concludes my report, unless you all have questions.
Any questions?
All right, Mr. Chairman, and if there are no other questions, then we will turn it over to Ms. Gloria Royal, who will provide our financial update.
Thank
Good afternoon, everyone.
you.
As we prepare for our financial update, thank you. A summary of our financial update as of August 2020 is as follows. Next slide. Revenues and expenditures. Total revenues for the month ending August 31st, 2020 are $1,986,581. The revenues are $277,628 below the budget. Total expenditures for the month are $1,977,405. This is $319,251 less than budgeted amount of $2,296,656 for this period. Our revenues exceed expenses for the month of August by $9,176. Revenues over expenditures after contingency is $3,423. Year to date, we are under budget, $187,444. During the month of August, we continued to run fare-free transit service as a safety precaution due to COVID-19. And as stated by Ms. Malden earlier, we do anticipate reinstating fares in the second quarter of this fiscal year. The slides show agencies' funding sources and the percentage of funds that we receive for operating expenses. This is our revenue by source. As you can see, Chatham County Special District Tax is our largest contributor. The amount is 54.98%. Our next largest contributor is also Chatham County for the paratransit service. This is 21.14%. 20% is received from federal grants, and our other funding sources, including fares and contract revenue, provide less than 3% each. The next slide, please. Our expenses by category. The salary and wage consists of 46% of our expenses, and benefits is 19%. The other expenses that we have include maintenance, repairs, supplies, fuel, service, utilities, and insurance equals the remaining 35% of the agency's expenses. Next slide, please. This is our projected cash flow versus actual cash. For the months of July and August, we are reporting the actual cash and projections for the remainder of the fiscal year. Historically, the agency has received its largest tax receivables during the months of June and December, in which this time frame, the majority of Chatham County's property taxes are collected. Providing no unforeseen circumstances occurring that may create additional expenses, the agency's projected August 31st, 2020, ending balance for June 30th, 2021 is $4,741,727,000. This is a timeline of our monthly financial activity. Included in the month of August, we were able to get our CARES Act grant approved, CARES Act funds requested and received. We were also able to pay down our line of credit, $1.5 million. We transferred to the investment account, the Georgia Fund account, $4 million. Next slide, please. Also, we wanted to share some of the other receivables that came in during the month of August. We received paratransit funds for the service that we operated in the month of July, $398,437. From special district transit tax, we only received $120,000 in the month of August. The water ferry operations is funded by the City of Savannah, Savannah Convention Center, the Western and Savannah Mobility Management Incorporation. Payments received this period from these agencies are the City of Savannah, we collected $34,814. And from the Savannah Convention Center, we collected $50,000. The ending cash in the operating account as of August 31st, 2020, is $4,957,560. This concludes the August 2020 financial report. Are there any questions?
One. I just have one, Gloria. How far down on the tax revenue are we percentage wise? We collected like 70, 60%?
As far as for the year, sir, as far as the amount that was budgeted for the fiscal year, because for the fiscal year, we have 12 million budgeted. So
Right. Usually we get a big chunk of that in July. How far under what we expected are we?
for the month of July, to date, we've only collected under $1 million. So
we've got a ways to go.
yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And normally our first 2 months of the fiscal year, July, well, actually the first 3 months of the fiscal year, they are small amounts that are collected during that period. Our tax receivables usually begin to actually increase in the month of November. And then December is a big payout, like I stated earlier. Then January, February, March, those are low tax collection periods. And it begins to rise again in the months of May and then June.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any more questions? All right. First of all, I want to thank you all of the department heads and staff for those very informative updates. And if there are no more questions, we're going to move to old business.
Hold on, I got a question.
Yes, Director over there.
Are we going to talk about the attachments? Are we just going to wait until, I got questions about the org chart.
About the about the financial org chart? I'm sorry.
No, not
Okay.
you, Gloria.
Okay.
Which session, where are we talking about that?
Our plan was to have those robust discussions during the budget workshop. This was for
Okay.
This was for information only, to just advise the board of the direction that we were going, to show the segregation of duties and departments.
Okay.
Any more questions? All right, with that being said, I want to know, we're gonna move to old business. Is there any old business from our board or staff? All right, let's move on to new business. We have one new business listed, which is the first reading of the compliance program policy. Ms. Malden, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. And we'll actually have our Chief Administrative Officer, David Stearns, to go over the compliance program policy that we have. This is a new policy for the board's consideration, and he'll be going over the policy. We're not asking for action this month. It will be brought before the board next month for consideration as an action item.
All right. Mr. Stern.
Thank you, Ms. Molden. So as Ms. Molden mentioned, the compliance program is just being presented to the board so that the board can take the time it deserves to review it, submit any questions or any comments for consideration. This is a new program for CAT. So at the suggestion of Mr. Cody, I think it was, we put it before the board as a first reading so that the board could take the time to look through it. The compliance program is going to be comprised of a number of key areas, including training, compliance hotline, which is up and running, the kind of annual and onboarding training, as well as reviews internally to make sure that we're in compliance with our various regulatory functions. So as Ms. Malden indicated, this is just presenting it to the board so that the board can have the time to really dig through it. And of course, we'll take any questions, comments, or anything that the board has.
We have any questions? All right. That look like that concludes our meeting. We are going to adjourn board meeting for the day, September 22nd.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.
All right, Beverly, I want to get.
All right.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Hey.
All right.
Hi, everyone. Bye.
Bye, Ms. Scott. Mr. Chairman Cody, I can give you a call right after. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. All right.